who better to inspire fledgling podcasters than a podcaster at the top of their game? But for seasoned podcasters who want to get better, the value of playing follow the leader can quickly fade. Hello and welcome to another Podcast Pontifications with me, Evo Terra. There's an old saying that I like to repeat, and it's never meet your heroes, especially if your heroes are celebrities. Generally speaking, that may also apply to podcasting celebrities as well. At least, that is, if you're trying to become a better podcaster. And many podcasters want to get better at podcasting. The fact that you're listening to this episode of Podcast Pontifications likely means that you want to get better at podcasting. And certainly if you're engaging with the advancing podcasting community on my Discord server, then you certainly want to get better at podcasting. So who do you learn from? The people who mastered the craft, right? I mean, that's the obvious idea. Those who have made a successful, if not extremely successful podcast in line with the type of podcast you want to make seems the logical choice of someone to learn from. Why not learn from the best? Well, because that's likely the opposite of what you should do. Wayne Gretzky, arguably the greatest player to ever lace up the skates in the NHL. He coached the Phoenix Coyotes, professional NHL team, for 4 seasons after he retired as a player. And during his tenure, that team lost more games than they won. He wasn't a great coach. He was a great player. Stephen King's book, On Writing, is often quoted as a must-read by many authors, but in reality, it's a memoir. It's not a write books the way that Stephen King writes books book. He's a great writer, but great teacher? I don't know. You know, you can go down to your local guitar center or any other music store, and you can buy a book and sheet music and videos that'll teach you how to play guitar just like Yngwie Malmsteen from Mr. Yngwie Malmsteen himself. But when you're done, you're not going to be able to play guitar like Yngwie Malmsteen. Sorry, great player. Teacher? You can even sign up for a master class taught by an actor who has won multiple Academy Awards, and you will likely not pick up any actionable technique that propels you towards a career or furthers your career in motion pictures. Because they may be a great actor, but they're probably not a great teacher at all. You know, in most cases, the pros who try their hand at teaching find out that they are much better at being pros than they are at being teachers. Now, for people who are just starting out or who all are happy to continue to dabble in a certain thing, hey, then the advice offered up by the pros are great for them because they can copy some techniques, try on a few styles, and I'd go so far as to say that many of these dabblers will actually show some improvement after taking a class or a workshop or watching a video series from someone at the top of their game. But that's for beginners. We're talking about marginal improvement at best, and one that clearly shows diminishing returns. It's really no different in podcasting. Because at some point, you go from dabbling in podcasting or just starting out in podcasting to getting serious about podcasting. And then studying those podcasters, at least the information they put out, is from they're at the top of their game. That becomes a lot less valuable to you for a few reasons. But one is that the instructional information that these pro podcasters put out isn't aimed at you. It's aimed at the beginner. And you're probably not a beginner anymore. I know you might feel like a beginner sometimes. You might feel like you don't have all of the tricks and the tools and the techniques down, and you don't. None of us do. But going back to the information pros give to how to get started in podcasting isn't going to help you. So what does actually help you, the working podcaster who's been at this for a while, get better? Well, that's the real question. It's not a trick question, but there are lots of ways to answer that. And it's something I want to dig into a lot more this week on Podcast Pontifications. Look, I don't have all of the time in this episode to get into here's exactly what you should do, because here's the other trick. There's no one right way, right? We know that. But there are some good right ways that I would like to expose to you for the rest of the episodes on this week. Now, if you have personally any of recommendations, any that you've used, any resources, any classes, any workshops, any ideas that you have personally used as a working podcaster, not to get started, but actually propel your career forward, I'd love to know about them. Go ahead and share it with me, evo@simpler.media, or hop into that advancing podcast community that I mentioned, advancingpodcasting.xyz, and share it over there. And if you found this episode enlightening and you wish to return some of that value, please visit podcastpontifications.com/support for many ways that you can make that happen. That's it. I shall be back tomorrow with yet another Podcast Pontifications. Cheers.